Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Also with me today is Danielle Hageman-Clark, who's the chief of my Criminal Justice Bureau. I'm Dana Nessel, Michigan Attorney General. First and foremost, I want to thank the families of Oxford for their continued advocacy and their unrelenting calls for accountability and transparency. In 2022, I hosted 2 town halls with many families of the victims and survivors of the Oxford school shooting at the very same location where today's press conference was held. And it gave me and my department the opportunity to hear directly from those most impacted and to answer as many questions as we possibly could. Following those meetings, I renewed my offer to the Oxford School District to conduct a third-party investigation that the families are requesting today. And while my department has renewed the terms of what a proper investigation would require, we've never withdrawn that offer. Now, I want to be clear that this offer was intended to be an investigation into the procedures, policies, and response leading to that fatal day and following. And it was not necessarily just an offer for a criminal investigation. It was our hope that our additional review could provide many of the answers the families are still seeking today, as well as some guidelines on how our state and our state schools could prevent and protect from another school shooting. Now, these offers were made to the school board and to the criminal investigation and prosecutions being handled by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and prosecutor. Our involvement on both fronts was soundly rejected, and I want to review that, right? So we offered immediately to help the Oakland County Sheriff's Department in their investigation. They declined. The sheriff flat out refused, said absolutely not. I asked the Oakland County prosecutor if they, desired or were interested in our help. I offered it over and over and over again. Each time, the Oakland County prosecutor refused. And then again, obviously, our multiple requests to do an investigation with the school board. So my office has always respected local authority, and we never use our jurisdiction to supersede local or county level criminal investigations. So once a matter is being reviewed by local law enforcement, my department will only join in or take the lead over a criminal investigation or prosecution after the local authorities have provided a referral and asked us to. To this day, let me make it clear, neither the Oakland County Sheriff or the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office has ever asked us to take over any part of the criminal investigation into what took place in Oxford, nor did they, as I said, accept our multiple offers to help, which again began with direct outreach to the prosecutor by myself to Karen McDonald on November 30th, 2021, and then multiple direct offers in the days and weeks that followed. We can and will accept that referral, presuming that it's coming following their participation in today's press conference, recognizing that we are unfortunately in a very different place today than we were 3 years ago. We share in the family's fatigue over the constant finger pointing and scapegoating in these investigations, and wish our offers to participate at any level had been accepted years ago. For my office to conduct an investigation at this point, nearly 3 years after the tragedy, will definitely be more difficult than if it had been allowed to begin when our earliest or repeated offers were initially made. Keeping in mind, of course, that the criminal statute of limitations is only 6 years. Any complete investigation by my office would require a number of things. First of all, Oakland County would have to turn over their over 400 pieces of evidence admitted in the prosecution against the Crumbly family, as well as all of their evidence from their years-long investigation and prosecutions, including any documents, correspondences, testimony, transcripts, and many more types of evidence, whether they were admissible in court or not. We would also need the cooperation of the Oakland County Sheriff and the Oakland County Prosecutor, as well as local law enforcement, and be able to interview all of their relevant staff, including Sheriff Bouchard and Prosecutor McDonald, in order to evaluate their response and their investigation and prosecution. We would need the Oxford School Board to waive attorney-client privilege and to provide that everything be turned over, and more importantly, the things that were not turned over to Guidepost. We'd require the willing participation of all witnesses, including staff and others, including the dozens who did not cooperate with the Guidepost review. And also, we need an expedited appropriation from the state legislature to conduct this work within the limited time we have left, due to the fact that we'd have to expedite this because the statute of limitations is already halfway through or more. Now, to address points raised about the grounds upon which we were able to advance in the past school board participation, authority to investigate in an absence of probable cause to demonstrate a crime has occurred that is required to further this investigation, I do believe the rules for a criminal investigation are being conflated with what is required to provide a meaningful review to better inform school safety policies and legislative action. So on the question of participation by local authorities, the Guidepost report is an excellent illustration of the limitations of a review that does not have the power to compel participation. The subpoena power of my office, a critical topic of discussion today during the earlier press conference, can only be triggered where there is probable cause to believe a crime has been committed. But under the circumstances where such probable cause exists, my authorities are not expansive beyond those that are already held by the county prosecutor and sheriff, who currently have the investigation and have investigated this matter thoroughly for years and years now. If there is evidence of or probable cause to believe a crime has been committed, these local authorities could be investigating right now, rather than encouraging the investigation should be conducted elsewhere. That the sheriff and the prosecutor's office who stand behind these families today, who contend that there is evidence or grounds for probable cause within the Guidepost report or other investigation that a specific crime has been committed, though neither the sheriff nor prosecutor has continued their investigation, is quite frankly very confusing, and a question that we have in my office at this very preliminary stage. Now, our office, our goal is always to be open and honest with the families of crime victims on what we can do, but more importantly, what we can't do. And if the sheriff and prosecutor do not suspect specific crimes at this stage, if there's nothing upon which to predicate a criminal investigation that has subpoena power, that's not going to change when the case is handed over and the case files come to my department. And if that is the case, they should tell these families up front. It would be wrong for them not to communicate that. And the families deserve better than that. So with that, I am open to any questions that anyone has in regard to this matter and what our department can do or not do and what we're prepared to do